A very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV, the perfect show to kickstart your day, bringing you the top national, international, business and sports news. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. Let us begin with the headlines. Discussion on demonetization to continue on day 2 of the winter session in Rajya Sabha today. Opposition alleges selective leak of information, demands JPC probe. Government defends move. Bihar Chief Minister supports the Prime Minister's move to demonetize 500 and 1,000 rupee notes, asks centre to target Benami properties, however says decision badly implemented. Moderate 4.2 earthquake hits the national capital and Haryana in wee hours today. Quake epicenter near Delhi-Haryana border, no reports of any casualties. Indian Army denies Pakistani claims of killing 11 Indian soldiers along the line of control, says no casualties on their side this week. At least 54 people, including children, killed as a hospital, blood bank and ambulances are hit in Aleppo. Bombardment for the second day. Well, the discussion on demonetization will continue today in the Rajya Sabha on day 2 of the winter session. On Wednesday, the opposition Congress upped the ante against the government over the issue. Now, Congress leader Anand Sharma alleged a selective leakage of the news about the demonetization and demanded disclosure of black money holders in foreign banks. Now, the opposition also demanded a JPC probe into the matter. The government, on the other hand, hit back at the opposition and defended its decision.
The opposition Congress on Wednesday launched an aggressive attack on the government for its demonetization notification. Deputy Leader of the Congress in the upper house, Anand Sharma, accused the government of displaying blatant insensitivity to the misery of the common man. He alleged that an atmosphere is being created where questioning the government is being dubbed anti-national. Expressing concern over Prime Minister Narendra Modi's statement that his life is in danger for making the demonetization announcement, the Congress leader sought an investigation into the matter.
सरकार ये बयान दे, आज से संसद का शीतकालीन सत्र आरंभ हो गया। अब आप बताओ प्रधानमंत्री जी, गृह मंत्री कि प्रधानमंत्री ये क्या सूचना सरकार के पास है, कौन सी साजिश है, कौन से संगठन हैं, कौन से लोग हैं जो भारत के प्रधानमंत्री की हत्या करना चाहते हैं।
Delivering a sharp rebuttal, Union Minister Piyush Goyal said the government's step honored the honest while troubling the dishonest. He asserted that despite standing in long queues, people are welcoming the Prime Minister's initiative.
मैं समझता हूँ किसी को कोई रोक नहीं है अपना ईमानदार पैसा बैंक में डालने में। रोक है तो बेईमानों के लिए है, रोक है तो भ्रष्टाचारियों के लिए है, रोक है तो जाली नोट रखने वालों के लिए। अब पूरे सदन में ऐसा कौन सा सदस्य है जो ऐसे प्रतिबंध पे भी ऐतराज कर रहा है?
Various members also sought the Prime Minister's presence in the House to heed the opposition's concerns over the demonetization drive.
ये अति संवेदनशील मामला है। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को आप इधर बुलाएं और वो हमारी बात सुने और मैं समझती हूँ कि नेता सदन इसके ऊपर जवाब दें तो प्रधानमंत्री जी इसके ऊपर जवाब दें तो ज़्यादा बेहतर होगा। ये मेरी नेता सदन से रिक्वेस्ट है।
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री सभी विपक्ष के नेताओं की भाषण चाहे ऑल पार्टी मीटिंग में सुने या सदन के अंदर सुने तो बहुत सारी गलतफहमियां दूर हो सकती हैं, बहुत चीज़ों के बारे में उन्हें जानकारी भी रह सकती है। तो चूंकि आज लोकसभा में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने हैं तो मायावती जी ने जो मांग की थी और मेरे ख्याल में सभी यादव जी की भी, शरद जी की भी और दूसरी पार्टीज की भी सबकी वही मांग है।
In an effort to tackle hoarding of black money, corruption and terror financing, Prime Minister Modi on November 8th announced that all 500 and 1,000 currency notes will cease to be valid in all forms of transactions. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the discussion on the issue continued in the post-lunch session as well, with the opposition leaders pointing out several lapses in the demonetization move, and the discussion will continue on Thursday as well.
Participating in the discussion over demonetization, the opposition parties took on the government, citing several lapses in implementation.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने पेड़ तो आम का लगाना चाहा था, लेकिन वो बबूल का निकल गया और उसमें इतने कांटे निकले कि देश की आम जनता को उससे बहुत ज़्यादा कष्ट हुआ।
इन्होंने किया है जो एनपीए हुआ है, एनपीए आपके मित्रों का, जो कर्जा माफ किया है, ब्याज माफ किया है 1,10,000 करोड़, इससे जो पैसा आएगा आप अपने एनपीए करने वाले दोस्तों को फिर कर्जा देने के लिए आप इकट्ठा कर रहे हो, जिससे काला धन उन लोगों के पास जाए जिन उद्योगपतियों का अकाउंट खाता एनपीए डिक्लेयर हो गया है। इसलिए आप कर रहे हो। आपकी नियत देश को सुधारने की नहीं है। देश तो उसी दिन सुधर जाएगा जिस दिन आप सुधर जाओगे।
Opposition members also sought relaxation in norms to ease the difficulties being faced by the people. Raising the issue of the decision being leaked ahead of the announcement, they also sought an investigation by the JPC.
The Prime Minister now said, I'm shocked, he said 50 days more is required. 50 days more is required for alternative arrangements to come into place. Till that alternative arrangements are not in place, allow these notes to be transacted for all white transactions and public utilities and public purposes.
ये बेहतर होगा कि ये जो जांच है तो ये जेपीसी से हो जाती तो ज्यादा बेहतर होता, लेकिन ये जांच समयबद्ध होनी चाहिए। ये केवल ऐसे नहीं कि जेपीसी सरकार वाले सोच रहे होंगे हम मान लेंगे, समयबद्ध होनी चाहिए।
But the government and its allies put up a strong defense, saying the decision would help eradicate black money and tackle corruption.
Sir, this is literally a war on corruption and black money. You have to decide on which side you are. People are sending a congratulatory message to the Prime Minister and to all of us. But I don't know why some people are so agitated, because they are agitated only for one thing. They are agitated because the popularity graph of the Prime Minister is going up.
This discussion will continue on Thursday.
The discussion will not be over today. Discussion will be spilled over, carried over to tomorrow also. And then in the BSE, which is the rightful body to allocate time, this issue was raised at 1 p.m. The BSE, the statutory body, and there it was decided that 9 hours. See, 9 hours is allotted for this, and therefore tomorrow from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. or even further more.
Vishal Daya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
While the opposition has been cornering the government, Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has backed the decision to demonetize. Now, speaking in Madhubani on Wednesday, Nitish said that he supports the move as it will help end illegal business. He, however, targeted the centre over the implementation of the move. He also sought action against Benami property for more effective results against black money. He demanded suitable arrangements so that poor and women can change demonetized high-value notes easily.
हम जब कोई काम करते हैं तो पहले से सोच समझ करके करते हैं। आजकल देखते नहीं हैं बैंकों में कितना लंबा लाइन लोग लगाए हुए हैं। मैं तो इसका हिमायती हूं, मैं साफ बता देना चाहता हूं, मैं तो हिमायती हूं। ये जो 500,000 रुपये का नोट बंद किया गया, मैं तो हिमायती हूं। इससे जो 2 नंबर का नोट है, जाली नोट है, वो अपने आप समाप्त होगा और 2 नंबरी कारोबार करके जो काला धन पैदा किए हैं, उनका काला धन बर्बाद होगा। इसलिए हम इसके हिमायती हैं। हम तो और चाहते हैं इसके आगे काम होना चाहिए। हम तो चाहते हैं कि जो बेनामी संपत्ति है लोगों की, इस पर भी जरा नजर रखिए। ये 2 नंबर की कमाई करके बेनामी संपत्ति लोग जो अर्जित करते हैं, उस बेनामी संपत्ति पर भी हमला जल्दी से जल्दी केंद्र सरकार को करना चाहिए।
And now we bring to you ground reports on the effects of demonetization on the common man. Well, in Kalahandi district in Odisha, now kiosk centers started under the Jan Dhan Yojana have turned into bank branches to help people take out cash. Now, with very few or no banks and ATMs in the rural areas, now these centers have come as a big relief to people who are toiling for cash. Here is a report. Demonetization has affected almost the whole of Kalahandi district in Odisha. People are toiling hard in cities to get cash out of banks and ATMs for their daily needs. But the situation in rural areas is very grim as there are no banks and ATM facilities. People are relying on banks' kiosk centers for money. These centers are providing people with cash through banking correspondent swiping machines. Facility of withdrawing from the account has also been provided.
यहाँ पे एक बैंक है जहाँ पर हमको सुविधा मिल रहा है पैसा उठाने के लिए एक्सचेंज हो रहा है और बहुत सारी तकलीफ होती है जिसने कि घर पे तकलीफ हो रही है बैंक जाने में बैंक भीड़ होती है बहुत सारी तकलीफ होती है
बैंक में एटीएम में ज़्यादा भीड़ होता है और उसका भीड़ थोड़ा कमने के लिए माने यहाँ पर एक सुविधा होना चाहिए.
The biggest bank in the region, SBI, has opened more than 150 kiosk centers in rural areas. The swiping machines have been given right to dispense cash up to 50,000 rupees, while a limit of 10,000 rupees has been put for withdrawal from account.
लोगों का जो तकलीफ है उसको हम समझ रहे हैं और आगे से ज़्यादा सर्विस देंगे. बैंक में ज़्यादा भीड़ है और यहाँ पर जो स्टेट बैंक मेन ब्रांच के पास हमारा ये कस्टमर सर्विस पॉइंट है और यहाँ से बाकी बैंक से भी लेके यहाँ से सर्विस देते हैं, इसलिए बैंक से जितना सर्विस हमको मिलना चाहिए उतना मिल रहा है.
However, keeping a check on transactions for any manipulation or discrimination is a difficult task for officials. Several complaints have been received regarding officials taking bribes for giving more cash than the limit.
मैंने विजिट करता हूँ, बार-बार विजिट करता हूँ CSP पॉइंट. विजिट करने के बाद उसको जो रिकॉर्ड है सो ट्रांजैक्शन रजिस्टर सब मेंटेन करते हैं, उसको सब हम देखते हैं.
The kiosk centers were opened under the Jan Dhan Yojana scheme. But after demonetization, these centers are working as bank branches. This is Pranav Goswami's report for Rajya Sabha TV. Now, Mullapur, a vegetable wholesale market in the Belgaum district of Karnataka, is also facing problems due to demonetization. Now, here, both the farmers and wholesale buyers are facing difficulties due to the banning of 500 and 1,000 rupee notes. Well, the move to demonetize has led to long queues outside banks, with people finding it difficult to get the required cash.
ग्राहक कम हो रहा है. अभी ग्राहक एक आता है, हम लोग को 100-200 का सब्जी लेता है, 500 का नोट देता है, सब्जी चिल्लर नहीं बोल के उधर ही छोड़ के जाता है. वो हमारा सब्जी भी ले गए, वो भी खराब हो रहा है. ये नोट की वजह से ग्राहक भी बहुत ठंडा है, ग्राहक भी बहुत कम है. इधर
बहुत परेशान है सब पब्लिक को.
क्या दिक्कत आ रही है?
दिक्कत बोलो नहीं, ये लोग क्या आते हैं, आज 100 किलोमीटर से गाड़ी ले आते हैं. अभी वो 500 को 1000 को नहीं चल रहा. ये शेतकरी लोग नहीं ले रहे, किसान लोग नहीं ले रहे.
Well, our correspondents Pranav Goswami and Akhilesh Suman are on the ground to get us a report on the situation arising out of the demonetization. Now, Pranav Goswami is joining us from Kalahandi in Odisha and Akhilesh Suman reports from Ratangarh in Churu in Rajasthan. First, coming to you, Pranav. Now, it's been more than a week after government's demonetization announcement, yet we are seeing chaotic scenes and long queues outside banks and ATMs for people to get a valid currency. As far as rural India is concerned, obviously the situation is worse, where comparatively less amount of money is reaching the banks, as well as the officials are having difficult time coping with the situation. So how are people coping up in Kalahandi in Odisha, where you are in at the moment?
Yes, Shwari, you are absolutely right. People are really getting into so much of difficulties, and people are facing serious problems, especially those who live in remote areas, those who live in rural belt. There are hardly we could see any ATM centers in those areas, and people don't have even access to any bank branches. People have to walk miles before reaching at the nearest ATM centers, and in bank branches also there are crisis currency shortage, and government has been in fact claiming and has been talking so much about Janadhan Yojana, but the ground reality is that people don't have even bank accounts, and some people don't have even official identification cards. So we can understand that in this area, which is one of the most backward region of India, Kalahandi, people are really facing serious problems, especially since the demonetization scheme has been implemented.
Yes, enormous problems really faced in rural areas. If I could come to you, Akhilesh. Akhilesh, now as Pranav was telling us how some kiosks under the Janadhan Yojana have been turned into banks to dispense cash. The place where you are in Rajasthan, how are people coping up? Of course, the major government is marking customers now who are exchanging defunct currency with indelible ink in major metros. But how are rural areas handling the situation?
Yeah, Aswara, actually, ink is being put on the thumbs in urban areas, but in rural areas, I talked to many bank managers here, and they told that the ink has not reached there. So it is not the issue with the banks that whether people are duplicating or triplicating, but the major problem in this area that banks are far away. I am here in a village called Binadesa. You can see behind me, it's a totally remote village of Rajasthan. And they have to travel for at least 9 kilometers to go to any bank. As far as the demonetization is concerned, people don't have much money in the rural areas. 500 and 2,000 rupees are not of any use here. The only problem they are facing that whatever thing they have to buy, they need small denomination notes, and that notes are out of the market. Right. Nobody knows that where all those notes have gone. So it might be turning into a bigger scam in coming days that smaller denominations are not available in the rural areas, and people don't have the purchasing capacity or to the tune of rupees 500 or 2,000 rupees. So people are telling here, the villagers are very wise, they understand the situation. People are telling here that government should have first put the 100, 50, 20, 10 rupees notes in the banks, and that should have been distributed in a bigger way before they went into banning the rupees 2,000 and 500 rupees notes. So it's a very difficult situation for the people in this area so that they can run the daily show.
Yes. Indeed,
it's really surprising for everyone that, okay, black money is there in the country. In rural areas are also some black money emerging. Yes. But they are not to the tune that you can understand in crores or in urban areas. So rural areas are facing a very strange type of situation, and basically those are of small denomination notes.
Absolutely. So the situation is really worse in rural area because comparatively less amount of money is reaching the banks and the ATMs, as well as they're having problem with not having enough lower denomination currency in their hands. Thank you so much, Akhilesh and Pranav, for joining us and giving us all those details there. Meanwhile, the government has made it clear that bank loans against liquor baron Vijay Mallya and other defaulters have not been waived off. Now, intervening during the demonetization debate in Rajya Sabha on Wednesday, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley clarified that there was no loan waiver and that the liability on the borrowers remain. Now, further explaining, Jaitley said that while government will continue to chase the loan, the entry in the accounting book will change from performing assets to a non-performing one. Now, this after controversy arose over India's largest bank, the State Bank of India, reportedly writing off loans worth 7,000 crore of rupees of 63 willful defaulters, including Vijay Mallya.
It doesn't mean that the loan ceases to be a loan.
So
you still pursue the loan. The entry in the books changes. That is, from being a performing asset, it becomes a non-performing asset. A performing asset is one where interest is being serviced, non-performing where interest is not being serviced, but you will still continue to preserve it. So there is a little bit of a malapropism involved in this. Don't go by the literal meaning of write-off, doesn't mean rin maafi in banking terms.
In Breakfast News, time for a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Now, a medium-intensity earthquake of 4.2 magnitude hit Haryana early today. The tremors shook Delhi and adjoining areas of Gurgaon, Faridabad, Noida and Ghaziabad. Now, according to United States Geological Survey, the quake shook the national capital at around 4:30 am and was epicentered 13 kilometers southeast of Bawal district in Haryana. The US Geological Survey further said that the earthquake struck at a depth of 10 kilometers. Indian Met Department said that the epicenter of the earthquake was at the Delhi-Haryana border. Now, there were no immediate reports of loss of life and property from anywhere in the city. Meanwhile, many people tweeted about the earthquake despite the tremor hitting early in the morning.
आज सुबह आया था 4:28 को और IST टाइम पे इसका मैग्नीट्यूड था 4.4 और ये आया था आपके राजस्थान हरियाणा बॉर्डर पे अलवर डिस्ट्रिक्ट के पास में आया है तो एक्चुअली मेन तो उसका राजस्थान हैदराबाद बॉर्डर में है उसका एपिसेंटर है 27.8 नॉर्थ और लॉन्गिट्यूड है 76.7 ईस्ट डैमेज का रिपोर्ट अब तक कुछ आया नहीं।
4:15 बजे के आसपास कुछ 4:20 4:15 के बीच का टाइम था तब लाइन में बाहर खड़े थे काफी देर से खड़े हैं ATM में पैसे निकालने के लिए सब खड़े हैं यहाँ पे तो लगा कुछ कहीं ट्रक व्रक गया या वाइब्रेशन आती है उस टाइप की वाइब्रेशन यहाँ पे महसूस हुई थी हमें तो लगा था हल्का सा यहाँ पे वाइब्रेशन हुआ है।
यहाँ पे झटके आए हैं दिल्ली में भी फील कर रहे हैं कह रहे हैं कि हरियाणा में ज्यादा है बट यहाँ पे भी फील हुआ है।
Well, on to some other news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the government must not interfere in the working of the media. He, however, said that internal discipline in the media is also essential. Now, speaking at the Golden Jubilee program of the Press Council of India in Delhi, he said that external control of the press is not good for the society. The Prime Minister also expressed concern over recent murder of journalists, saying that it was very painful and a most dangerous way of suppressing truth. Now, his remarks came against the backdrop of murders of 2 journalists in Bihar.
महात्मा गांधी कहते थे कि अनियंत्रित लेखनी ये बहुत बड़ा संकट पैदा कर सकती है, लेकिन महात्मा गांधी ये भी कहते थे कि बाहर का नियंत्रण तो तबाही पैदा कर देगा और इसलिए बाहर के नियंत्रण की कल्पना उस समाज को आगे ले जाने वाली कल्पना हो ही नहीं सकती। किसी भी व्यक्ति की हत्या दर्दनाक है, लेकिन मीडिया वाले की हत्या इसलिए हो कि वो सत्य उजागर करने की कोशिश करता था, तब वो जरा अति गंभीर बन जाती है, अधिक चिंताजनक बन जाती है।
Now, Pakistan has said that it has killed 11 Indian Jawans along the line of control on Sunday, the day when it lost 7 of its own soldiers in cross-border firing. The Pakistan Army Chief General Raheel Sharif claimed this during a banquet organized by his country's president in honor of a visiting Turkish president. He said that Pakistan has killed 40 to 44 Indian troops in the current clashes, but the Indian Army was refusing to accept and own its casualties. Well, the Indian Army has denied Pakistan's claim that it killed at least 11 soldiers on Monday. In a late-night tweet, the Northern Command said that there were no casualties due to firing by Pakistan on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Meanwhile, Pakistan is conducting military exercises in a strategically important area near the border with India. The maneuvers are taking place near border close to Bhavalpur town in Punjab province. Pakistan, remember, has violated the ceasefire 369 times in Jammu and Kashmir in the first 10 months of this year. Minister of State for Home Hansraj Ahir informed this to Rajya Sabha on Wednesday. Now, India has sought a clear definition of climate justice in the Paris Agreement implementation guidelines during the ongoing climate summit in Marrakech in Morocco. Now, India is also pushing for uninterrupted flow of finance from developing nations to meet the targets of the agreement. Now, Environment Minister Anil Madhav Dave held a closed-door meeting with US Secretary of State John Kerry over the issues. All major economies except Russia were present in this meeting. At the climate summit, nations are looking to ways to implement the Paris climate deal. It is noteworthy that on Tuesday, 20 nations joined the India-led International Solar Alliance that calls for cooperation to boost solar energy infrastructure and receive clean energy financing. The International Solar Alliance, or ISA, is a brainchild of Prime Minister Narendra Modi that was proposed at the Paris Climate Conference last year. The ISA gives India an opportunity to take a global leadership role in the fight against climate change. The secretariat of the ISA is to be located in India. It will also host a meeting of ISA Assembly every year. On to the big international story. Well, a hospital, blood bank and ambulances are reported to have been hit as Syrian government aircrafts and artillery bombarded rebel-held eastern Aleppo for a second consecutive day. Now, activists say that at least 54 people, including children, have been killed in Aleppo over the past 2 days amid a new government offensive. The Independent Doctors Association, which supports several facilities in Syria, reported that Bayan Children's Hospital had been badly damaged and eastern Aleppo's central blood bank was struck in Wednesday's attacks. Well, the airstrikes resumed on Tuesday after a 3-week moratorium declared by the government's ally Russia ended. Apart from airstrikes on besieged east of Aleppo, Russia also announced a wide-scale operation against opposition targets in Syria's north and central Homs province. Remember, Aleppo, once Syria's commercial and industrial hub, has now been divided into roughly two since 2012, with the government controlling the west and rebels the east.
Looks like they were deliberately targeted. All in the span of just the last day or so. It's also worth noting that despite Russian claims that it halted airstrikes in the past month or so,
28 days.
Yeah, they've allowed no food or humanitarian assistance into East Aleppo.
Well, World Health Organization strongly condemns this latest wave of attacks on healthcare facilities. In the last 48 hours, there were 6 attacks on hospitals and health centers in western rural Aleppo, East Aleppo, as well as in Idlib. These attacks not only left casualties, but also these attacks had a result that these facilities are now closed and that population has no access to health services.
Well, that's the wrap on this edition of news. Thanks for watching.